Hi everybody, Lena Rodriguez coming to you from Australia, sociologist and tarot card reader. Well, intrepid viewers, that's code for my regular viewers. If you're new, you may yet become an intrepid viewer. But is it not? Weekend at Bernie's meets Animal House. It's totally crazy. It's beyond crazy. But look, take heart, America, because every country's ended up with its mad king, and it sort of has to go through this process to come out the other side as a more mature country. I really feel this. It's like if people don't get it after the Yeti, 3 years going on 4 years of the Yeti, it's like it's this massive lesson, this massive thing that of worshipping money and celebrity and con men just being able to talk their way in and out of everything. This isn't what politicians should be made of, right? Politics should be about public service. You know, it used to be that politicians would take a huge pay cut to become a politician, you know, because it's the sort of work that shouldn't be about profiteering and all of that. But the Trump family, and Trump in particular, have been so out there. He never pretended to be anything else than what he was, an out-and-out con man, right? So it's really the GOP who are responsible for this mess, this total mess. Trump's not different. They've got worse, you know. So stay strong, America. Stay strong. Now, hopefully it'll be an absolute landslide, but inevitably there's going to be challenges and stuff. So there's going to be, you know, state by state, there'll be dramas. My feel is it'll take about 3 weeks. Oh, I heard 20. I'm hoping that's the 20th of November at the latest, but who knows. So it's so important for everyone to get out there. But today I want to look at the 25th Amendment. Thank God you've got it. Will they use it? So Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, all the seasoned campaigners, they must be talking about it. So let's see, will they invoke the 25th? Will they invoke the 25th? So out of control. 25th, let's launch straight in. The 25th Amendment, if there are people from other countries who aren't sure, it's a clause in the Constitution that means if the President is unfit to carry out his duties, the Vice President can step in. I'm not even going to talk about that debate. A, I didn't watch it, and B, I think it was important, obviously. It was important on some level, but this is more important. It's almost an insult to the American people to keep pretending there are going to be other debates that discuss real things, right? I always said, viewers, I only saw one debate of the presidents. But from what I've read and heard, Kamala did quite a good job. Pence talked over her. He's more sane than his boss, but that's about all you can say for, you know, the cardboard cutout. I think he's an experiment in cyborgs. Is he actually human? Yeah. But anyway, I digress, viewers. Back to the 25th. Will they use the 25th? The Magician. Oh, lots of major arcana and just, can you see these cards? The middle, the Magician. Now, as with any card, it can have a more negative connotation or a more positive connotation. But in any event with the Magician, for absolute sure, it's about power. This is a power card. So, Are they going to pull out their magic wand with the 25th, or is it the Yeti in the middle as the magician who manages to escape it yet again? We will see. What underlies the issue? Truth and justice, but I'd go as far as to say the national sanity. The collective sanity is at stake. And I'm thrilled to see the Ace of Swords because it tends to penetrate and it's cutting through the mist and the fog and the misinformation and the double dealing and the triple decker agendas that are going on. It's cutting through. So they're certainly thinking about it. In the past, the Fool, well, the Fool can be a very sophisticated card, or it can be someone walking off a cliff without looking. So you don't have to be a tarot reader of 40 years standing to work out which one it might be. He keeps shooting himself in the foot. He keeps doing such profoundly stupid acts. Now, the Fool can be new beginnings and all these other things, but I think this is speaking directly to the Yeti. His nature was essentially a narcissistic nature. That's why he's finding quarantine actually impossible, not difficult, impossible. He's refusing because for a megalomaniac narcissist, it's a nightmare. So he keeps doing foolish things upon foolish things upon foolish things. I opened in my introduction by saying this is a big lesson for America. Big lesson, right? It's a lesson in maturity, in political maturity, in national maturity, and it's a very big, difficult lesson. But it is out there. The universe is actually trying to help you with Trump. I know it doesn't feel like that or look like that, but they've given America someone who is so crude, so dumb, so overtly self-serving, that it forces people who didn't look at politics or didn't care or had no curiosity about who was in charge of their own country. People have been forced to wake up dramatically. Yes, there's a lot in their echo chambers of madness who don't think people have died and all of that, but you've got a lot of people. You've got more people who are decent, thinking, caring America. Justice. I think it might actually be quietly whatever formality they have to go through. I'll try once more to get, will they use it? This is laying the scene. Will they actually use it? Will they use the 25th? Judgment. I think they might. I think they might. It might not be called that. I think that he's so mad now. He's so woof woof that I think they might say, Mr. President, we're just taking you back to the clinic for a vitamin B shot or something and actually take him to a facility. 2 years ago, I said, I never saw Trump in jail. I saw him in a facility, very comfortable resort-like facility. I think they might have to even pretend. I think so, but judgment is upon all of them. Now, when I pull clarifiers, I stop at a major arcana because I think this is important. So I can't guarantee yes, no, they will. I'm leaning more towards yes, but the judgment is on the heads of these people. Now, as many of you know, I'm supporting family members here in Australia, so I'm making quicker videos, but I want to have a look at Eric Trump next Monday. He has been deposed. Why Eric? It's all about the Trump org dealings, so it's all of them. You know, they've gone for the weak link, haven't they? You'd have to think. They've picked him off because it might be too controversial to go directly for Don Jr., and especially the precious one, the she-wolf Ivanka. So let's look at Eric, whatever's happening to him on Monday. How will this go for Eric? Oh, let's go for Eric. Oh, another digression. Pete Buttigieg was on Fox on one of their stupid panels, and he just creamed it. Go, Pete. Mayor Pete, in 3 sentences here, 3 sentences there, slayed the Fox team. His time will come, like Beto, 2024. Right, don't forget the election's just the beginning of the new phase for you guys. There's 4 years for all of us globally. We all have to sort out what's happening with governments because at the moment, no one is governing. Boris Johnson is not governing. 17,000 new cases yesterday of COVID. He hasn't got a clue. They're about to jump off the Brexit cliff and say we are going to stand alone as the UK, not with the EU, the most stupid decision in the history of the modern world, without deals. They have no deals. Okay, Eric. He's worried, very worried. He's been fudging and fuzzing, as they all do. So this is evaluating his situation, I think, here, evaluating what's going on, evaluating what he's saying about their money, the family money. Underneath, the hanged man, and this can be the sacrifice too. It's like he is being sacrificed by the family. It can be a willing sacrifice, but it's not so much that, but certainly things will be held up for a while. We're not going to hear next week that he's going to jail or anything like that, but it will play out. Behind it, I described just before the sword of truth, and I love the fact it's skewering the crown. They are all in big trouble. What's on top of Eric? Well, that's his father, the emperor. My way or the highway. So I think he would be genuinely on edge. But he does get the 2 of Cups. This should soften the experience to some level, meaning he doesn't go to jail on Monday. It could be softening it. But the 2 of Cups, like the Lovers, is about treaties and pacts. So we need to go a tiny bit further. Let's see here. The Star, my card for America. I couldn't be happier. America will survive the Trump experience. And we're now going to see, as this year comes to a dramatic end, talk about Circus Maximus, but America will come through. There's enough real judges left, not in the Supreme Court, it would appear, but generally, as these cases are heard, particularly these New York cases that can't be pardoned, this is what's going to save America, I believe, in the future from the Trump type people. They're just the worst because they're so unveiled. They're not very good at hiding their criminality. It's just out there. You've got a president who's not allowed to run a charity for 20 years because they were all dipping into it, and yet he can run a country of 320 million people? How can that happen? It's so stupid, but it's happened because everyone has taken their eye off the ball for 40 years. It started with Reagan, right? People loved Reagan because they related to the movie star. He didn't have a clue about politics. You had the Iran-Contra scandal, you had the destabilizing of the whole of Latin America, you had him in La La Land with space, what was it called in those days? Not Space Force, that's the new one. It was a Space Wars fantasy that, cost the earth. He's the one that sent all the manufacturing jobs offshore. But no, he's remembered as a saint. So until people mature collectively, this had to go another step. People didn't get Reagan. They didn't get Bush. They're going to have to get Trump. Before I go, the attempted kidnap in the Wolverine state of Gretchen Whitmer. How can I have not done that? Okay. Gretchen Whitmer. What's going to happen? I want to know what their charges will be. That's just a terrible development because of the Yeti. It only happened because of the Yeti. The world is watching. Look, again, I'm finding these cards very calming. People are talking about, oh, will there be violence around the elections and stuff? And yes, there might be. But I'm sorry, you live in a violent country. 11,000 Americans a year get routinely shot, not by ISIS members or anything, but by other Americans. I mean, that's more than, you know, the top 20 other countries combined. So this sort of new development, anyway, the world is watching this. It's a disturbing development. This is an opportunity and a mission to actually make for more kindness. I think this will I hope it shocks your average voter in Michigan, even if they're not mad about Gretchen Whitmer. This is truly terrible. Hopefully this is an emotional wake-up call. Moving through to calmer waters, I'm pleased. Victory for the people and the end of a cycle. I couldn't be happier with those cards. Really, might not feel like it, but there is good news on the horizon. So around election time, be safe, go with other people, you know, be really, really sensible if you're polling in person. And I wish you all the best. And I'll be back. Bye now.